Wow, what a movie! I sure hope that people support this, and I'm going to try and do my bit right now. So, after many, including myself, took Once Upon a Time in Hollywood to task for its portrayal of women, just 2 weeks later, The Kitchen is quite the clapback. And perhaps more accurately, slapback, because via a slow burn, The Kitchen has a similarly brutal take-no-prisoners approach as demonstrated by Brad Pitt's Mr. Cliff Booth. Again, wow! I actually laughed out loud during this film a few times, not at it by any means. I'm very impressed with this movie. But it was so shocking, so aggressive, and showed women behaving in ways and making choices that entertainment, choices that I think many women in these situations, I think not just women, anyone in these situations would make. But the circumstances, as we're going to discuss, are very unique to women. But I just couldn't believe the movie actually went there. It was amazing. So back in 1991, Thelma and Louise broke new ground in feminist filmmaking, thrilling audiences. And I think The Kitchen is very much an evolution of Thelma and Louise. I think it definitely builds on that movie. But while I would also describe The Kitchen as thrilling, as I just outlined, I would definitely call it shocking in a way that Thelma and Louise never was. I think at the heart of it, Thelma and Louise were always still victims, victims of circumstance, and that's not the case here. We're a long way from movies like Married to the Mob. That was a fun movie, but this is more in the line of gangster movies that we've seen with male protagonists. So screenwriter, I'm really hoping that everybody, including men, give this movie a shot. All right, so screenwriter, I'm nervous about it. All right, so screenwriter Andrea Berloff, making her directorial debut, got this gig thanks to being a co-writer on Straight Outta Compton, for which she was Oscar nominated. And The Kitchen also shows a group of marginalized people fighting for their place at the table with as much anger and aggression as NWA, only instead of musicians, these women are criminals. And one of the most interesting choices here is that these women are criminals. Often in popular entertainment, the idea is put forward that if women were in charge, everything would be kinder and gentler. Not here! McCarthy, Haddish, and Moss are just as mean, dangerous, and twisted as their male counterparts. What's also interesting is that in gangster films, and it's never even occurred to me until I was watching the movie, I was like, this is incredible. So in gangster films, the women, be they the wives or the girlfriends, serve as a respite, right? The wives, girlfriends, and moms, right? A place where men can retreat to, if just for a few hours. But if women are also fighting for a piece of the pie, that means there's nowhere for anyone to rest, which ratchets up the tension in a way I have never seen in a gangster story, big or small screen. It's weird, because television is often a pioneer when it comes to roles for women, but even they haven't done what Berloff does here. So as I said, this one is a slow burn, and it starts out seeming like something that might be better suited for the small screen. But I think that's in large part to this being Berloff's directorial debut. She'll get better. But I will say, to her credit, some of her best moves here as a director are using the score and shots of the city to set the mood. I was like, this is cool. Also to make it feel like an authentic gangster movie. But that, plus Berloff's very strong, gutsy script, which has plenty of surprise twists, trust me, I know some of you were like, why'd you tell me there were twists? Well, if there aren't any twists, the movie's going to be pretty boring because it seems pretty straightforward from the trailers, right? The trailers for this movie are good, but they do not prepare you at all for what the movie actually is. There's also an amazing cast that's taking this movie very seriously, to their credit. And so I think because of all of that, The Kitchen, I felt, quickly earns, in fact, I'd say maybe at around a third of the way in, I was like, this is something really unique and special. And I definitely felt that way at the end of the movie. But I think it earns its place amongst Hollywood's other classic gangster films. Now, the entire cast is excellent, especially Bill Camp, who's always good, in a small but pivotal role. It was very important for him to succeed in his role, and he does, which I think really helps the movie, again, seem authentic. But obviously, it's the three leads who are going to make or break this movie. And they make it! So Melissa McCarthy botched the feminist Ghostbusters big time, right? I think because maybe they didn't take it as seriously as they should have. Like that, I think maybe hopefully she realized that mistake. Maybe they felt it was too easy of a slam dunk. That's not the case here. Because I think Melissa McCarthy makes up for Ghostbusters here with a strong dramatic performance that has a lot of nuance and shows a true transformation from blindly trusting wife to hardened kingpin. McCarthy also has one speech in the third act, which should get her yet another Oscar nomination. I'm like, that goes on your awards reel, boy. It's good. And although I feel the way that it's filmed is a little weak. So Berloff, I'm glad that, I don't know if another director I think another director might have lessened Berloff's script, so I'm glad that she did direct, but I think she does undercut her own movie just a little bit, as it doesn't have the handsome cinematography, the masterful cinematography. I guess I don't want to use the term handsome, right? Because it's usually, I don't know. I'm trying to make sure that I'm respectful of this movie. But, it's not like a Coppola or a Scorsese. And I think that that's the only thing that keeps the movie from just being absolutely perfect. So study the greats, Berloff. I wish you had a little more closely to make this movie. Anyway, Tiffany Haddish is the real revelation. A broad comedian, as we all know, here she focuses that manic energy into creating a steely powerhouse. And she turns into a truly terrifying opponent. She was amazing. I've never seen Tiffany Haddish like this, and I want more of it. And I enjoy Tiffany Haddish. I think she's funny, but she was a surprisingly good dramatic actress. As for Moss, her Bonnie and Clyde, Mickey and Mallory bit with Donald Gleason seems a bit cliche at first, until it doesn't. Don't want to give anything away. Her character, sick of being beaten and harassed by men, does some of the most morally questionable things in the film, which unfortunately might give some critics and trolls the angle they're looking for to criticize this movie, which again, as I said, is unfortunate. But there are sick, morally bankrupt men in a lot of gangster movies. Moss simply has motivations that are tragically unique to women. A guy's not gonna have that same problem. And in a gangster movie, this is how someone deals, women in front and center, this is how it gets dealt with. It's like the way a brother would deal with it if, in any other movie. So think about that. So when I saw it happen, I was like, I don't know about that. But then the more I thought about it with these elements, I was like, no, it's a good choice. And that's what's impressive about this movie. It's unique to women. It's not the story. It's not a typical gangster movie where the roles have just been gender flipped, right? This is a movie about three wives trying to take over their neighborhood criminal empire to which their husbands belong, that obviously presents a unique set of problems, which the movie doesn't shy away from and handles with shocking honesty as to what would likely happen in such a situation if you were being honest about it, if women were telling the story as they are here. Also, it's worth noting that straight women in this age range are rarely shown as aggressive protagonists. And when they are, they're usually doing it to save their kids or their husbands, and even someone like Julia Roberts and Erin Brockovich dressed for the male gaze. Here, it's made clear these women are doing everything on screen primarily for themselves. And they come across just as cool as the male actors have in the past gangster films that everyone loves so much. I'm talking like they're very much female Robert De Niro's, Joe Pesci's, Al Pacino's, Johnny Depp's, and I think that's just really cool. Now, I'm very curious to see how audiences in the media and the industry react to The Kitchen. McCarthy and Moss, I think, are very respected critic-wise. I hope Haddish is recognized for her work here. She really deserves it. And Berloff is Oscar nominated for Straight Outta Compton, so I hope people back this film. And it's very new and it's very shocking. So I hope that, I understand there might be some knee-jerk reactions, but I really hope that people stop for a moment and think about what Berloff is trying to accomplish here, because it's really unique and exciting. And I really feel that this film deserves to have its rightful place in Hollywood's pantheon of gangster movies. So that's my non-spoiler review of The Kitchen. Please don't ruin any of the twists in the movie. They're very cool, and that's a big part of what was really exciting about watching the movie. So be careful in comment sections, because now that I think about it, some people who might be against the movie might try to ruin it intentionally, which is so not cool. All right, so anyway, share your own thoughts down below. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. And of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.